Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So we are talking about the book written by Shantideva, right? So we have discussed for the last few days about 2 chapters, which is about the good qualities of Bodhisattva. Through generating Bodhisattva mind within yourself, what kind of benefit you can get, what kind of benefit the other people can get. So that was quite, very aspiring. And then the second chapter we discussed about the compassion. So that is also very important for us. So actually we have to do the kind of purification or compassion till we get enlightened. So this is the beginning of our practice of Buddha Dharma. So right from the beginning we have to practice this, and particularly when we try to practice Mahayana Buddha Dharma, then we need to train ourselves about the Bodhisattva, through Bodhisattva, which is as the previous masters, they say, the source of happiness. The source of happiness is the precious Bodhisattva. That is source of happiness. So once you have Bodhisattva, then there is no suffering, even though one is sick or one is poor or whatever in situation you might be. So you never feel the sorrow, you never feel the suffering. You always feel the happiness. You always, you can turn any situation into happiness. Even if it looks like suffering or sorrow, misery and so forth, you can transform that situation into joyful and happiness. So that's why the masters, the previous Kadamba masters, they say this is the source of happiness. So for that we have to create the understanding of Bodhisattva. So what is Bodhisattva can do, what Bodhisattva can do for us, that is very important. Because basically we only think for ourselves, right? So at the beginning, that we should see that what we can get, what we can be benefited. So then, when you see the result of the beneficial, and then you will get the desire or wish to train yourself, train your mind in that way, right? So that's why the first chapter is he talked, the Shantideva, Acharaya Shantideva talked about the qualities of bodhicitta and praise to bodhicitta. And then he talked about purification, compassion, because this is very important. Otherwise, we cannot go further up, and so we cannot step up. We cannot get to this second level, then the third level or fourth level, whatever, because it is like if we have a heavy negative karma, that even if we would like to practice Buddha Dharma, so it is like the heavy negative karma will drag you down. That is very powerful. So it will drag you down, and you try to climb up, and then the heavy negativity that will drag you down. So you have to fight with that. So if you can make the negativity karma even you can make it lighter, then their power to drag you down will be become weaker, so that you can go further up little bit, and then by little bit, by step by step, you will go further up and up, right? So that's why it is very important. The compassion is very important for us, particularly for the beginners like us, So there are many methods how to do it that we have discussed, and besides, he clearly discussed in the chapter. There are other things like the other day during the initiation we discussed, like reciting that mantra and the circumambulating around the holy places and holy objects, and prostrating holy objects, because that comes one of the 4 powers. Right? So I just noticed who are excuse me. I just noticed all of you that can recite Sanji Chono Soji Chonam La Chochobanai. That is very good. That is very good. That is the power of the force of relying upon. That is taking refuge and cultivating motivation, right? So that in these 4 sentences, both of them are there, right? So I'm very happy that I'm very happy to see all of you can recite this verse, 4 sentences by heart. So you should also know, you might be knowing it, I don't know. You should also know the meaning of the words, and then the being mindful in the meaning of the words. Then you can recite. That is perfect. The power of relying upon. Okay. So that is, and then I can remind you that the first 2 sentences, they are the taking refuge in 3 jewels. Sangye Chodam Soti Chodam. That is Sangye Buddha Ch Dhamma. Soti Chod. That is the great Sangha, Supreme Sangha, and then Changsubadan Kyapsuchi. The second sentence is that I take refuge in you till I get enlightened. Till I get enlightenment. So there is and at that time you should visualize that all sentient beings in this universe, all sentient beings in the universe, all come together with you, and you are surrounded by all sentient beings, and even those lower realms, beings in lower realms, they are with you in the form of human beings, and then heaven realm the beings in the heavenly realms all come together and take refuge. That you should visualize, and that is called taking refuge in three jewels according to Mahayana tradition. So because not only yourself taking refuge, but you take everybody with you, and then take refuge in three jewels, and then you can visualize that. You can visualize that all the males are your father, all the females are your mother, and that kind of different visualizations are there. But anyway, if you cannot think that the friends in front of you and the enemies are your back, and then everybody take refuge in things like that. But you cannot think of that, but you can simply think that all sentient beings in the form of human beings, and then take refuge with you in three jewels. That is, and then why you take three jewels, refuge in three jewels? Because all of you, all sentient beings, including all sentient beings means the beings who are already enlightened. There are Buddhas who already became Buddha. They are excluded. So rest all beings who even they are Bodhisattvas and so forth. They also still need refuge. So all of you together with you take refuge in three jewels. That is how you imagine. Okay. And then the last two sentences is bodhicitta, that you already know. So, so at this time also we have to cultivate our motivation according to bodhicitta, right? So as we discuss every day, so at the beginning we have to cultivate our motivation. So here again, today also we must cultivate our motivation. That is bodhicitta. I wish to be fully enlightened for the sake of all sentient beings. For that I need to practice Dhamma. To be able to practice Dhamma, I need to know about Dhamma. I have to have knowledge about Dhamma. To gain knowledge about Dhamma, I must study. There is no any other way. So therefore I am going to listen to this explanation, right? So with this motivation, we should listen and we should teach. Now we are in the third chapter. That is third chapter is to hold bodhicitta, body mind, to hold body mind, to keep body mind with you, to keep the body mind with you absolutely. So it says adopting the awakening mind. Awakening mind is translated as a bodhicitta, right? And senje kuji ne song ke dunge ne su ke wata dunge chen ta den ne la kawe je se ro. So that is here also. I rejoice with delight at the good done by all beings, which, what is that? Abates the suffering of hell. Okay, suffering of hell. May those who are suffering abide in happiness. May those who are in suffering, abide in happiness. And so full acceptance of the awakening mind. Gladly do I rejoice in the virtue that relieves the misery of all those in unfortunate states, and that gives happiness to the suffering. So here the part of adopting the bodhicitta mind, the practice is that rejoicing. Rejoice. Rejoice is like rejoice means actually feeling good. You feel good about any virtuous actions, any good actions. So you feel good, virtuous actions done by yourself, done by other people, done by sentient beings, other sentient beings, done by Buddhas, done by Bodhisattvas. You can think of them and you can feel good, happy about them. That is rejoice. That is called Jesu Yerang. So Jesu, in Tibetan we call it Jesu Yerang. Yerang means you feel happy or wonderful. If you are rejoicing in your virtuous actions, then you can feel that, I did this today, and it is wonderful action I could do today. And through the blessing of Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, I could perform some good actions. So you feel good about that actions that you have performed during the day or whatever, That is rejoicing. And if you feel happy about other people's good actions, that is also rejoicing. So why you have to do this? Because if you rejoice in good actions done by you and done by others, that is a great that accumulates a great merit. So Lama Tsongkhapa, actually I have earlier also I mentioned Lama Tsongkhapa, Tsongkhapa the Great, Je Tsongkhapa the Great. He mentioned in his one of his mind training, how do you say, points. He said that if you like to accumulate huge amount of merit without making a great effort, that is practice rejoice. That is practice of rejoice, practice of Jesya. That is you don't need any money to spend. You don't need any physical effort to make. Nothing, but you just feel good about it. So through that also you can accumulate huge amount of merit. And that practice of rejoice you can do while you are lying down, while you are walking, while you are working, whatever, you can do it. But the difficulty with us is that we don't notice that what we have done, and even if we have done like some virtuous actions, you take part in Dhamma practice for 2 hours, then after that your knees are hurting, your bottoms are hurting, and this 2 hours is too long. You forget rejoicing about that. So that is difficulty with us. Maybe if you feel happy during the period of the Dhamma practice, then today I did a great job. And then you sometimes normally we forget what just after the action, then we forget about it. But not exactly right after the action, but what you actually should do is that before going to bed, then you must check what you have done during the day. Okay, morning I woke up, and then what you did, what you thought, what you did, you should check. And then you can count what you have done. And virtuous actions, how many virtuous actions, non-virtuous actions, good actions and bad actions, you can count. And then good actions done by you, about the good actions done by you, you can rejoice in them. And the bad actions you have done during the daytime, you can feel regret about them. That is good to do. And then when it comes feeling good about good actions done by other people, that is also at the beginning we have some problems, because we are not feeling good about what that good actions done by others. We feel jealousy, and if some enemies that they are doing, then you can feel. Instead of feeling happy, you can feel unhappy, And then some friends, then he did this, I couldn't do. You can feel jealous about them. So feeling of regret, rejoice is at the beginning it is not so easy. You don't need any efforts to make it, but think about it. It's easy because you are not familiar with that practice, So we need more practice, and then it becomes. Afterwards, it can become simultaneous. So that is very profitable for us. Very profitable for us, because you can even. Or if somebody else is offering a land, butter land, then you have no butter land to offer. You have no money or whatever. So you just feel rejoice in his or her action. Then you get the same merit, amount of same merit that other people did. So without any expenditure, without spending any money, you are still you are getting merit, So why it is important to collect merit that you already know. So here he is talking about the rejoicing in good actions. So the people, the beings, the sentient beings who have taken birth in higher realms, the sentient beings or lower realms who have taken birth in higher realms, they have taken rebirth in higher realms because they did good actions. So you rejoice about their action. That is what he says here. I rejoice in the actions, good actions done by those beings who have taken rebirth in higher realms, who are abiding in happiness. They are abiding in happiness. They are abiding in happiness because they have done good actions. So you rejoice in their actions. And then he says, "Chanju du tu gesapa tele jesero. Lujen korwe dungere never tell. So, where is it? I rejoice at the deliverance of embodied beings from the suffering of cyclic existence. I rejoice at the Bodhisattva and Buddha nature of the seers. And the other translation. I rejoice in that gathering of virtue that is the cause for awakening. In bracket it says the Arahats. I rejoice in the definite freedom of embodied creatures from the miseries of cyclic existence. Okay, now read that. There are 3 steps in general. That first you must get out of lower realms. If you are in lower realms, then you cannot practice Dharma at all. There's no chance. We haven't seen the hell realm, or we haven't seen the ghost realms, but some part of animal realm we see. Do they have any chance to practice? Do they have any chance to practice Dharma? Do they can think of Dharma? There's no chance. Very seldom. Sometimes maybe some animals are quite intelligent, so they can feel compassion, and maybe that is possible. But that is merely a possibility. Normally, we can judge from the animal realm, some part of animal realm that we see. So they are totally ignorant, and their intelligence is very limited. So we cannot help them to think about that. We cannot help them. Sometimes accidentally, as we talked about the fly on cow dung, they can. That is through the power of object, right? You remember that, right? So other than that, they have no chance. So the first thing is for the beings in samsara. The cyclic existence means samsara. So for the beings, first we have to get out of lower realms, and then when you are in higher realms like human realm and heaven realm, then that is also not enough. So what you need is you also have to get out of samsara. Otherwise, you can fall down anytime. You can fall down anytime. So you have to get out of samsara. So there are 2 ways to get out of samsara. The one is that according to the Hinana tradition or Theravada tradition, that is just to get out of samsara. And that's why when you call it Changchuk, Changchuk means Bodhi. When we talk about the Bodhicitta, that Bodhi is, you remember what does it mean by Bodhi? Bodhi, Changchuk. Chang means, you remember? You should remember, otherwise others we will stuck at Changchuk all the time, So Chang is, all the obscurations are and obstacles are purified, right? So there are 3 kinds of Changchuk, there are 3 kinds of Bodhi. So that is one is Sarvaka Bodhi, Sarvaka where? Sarvaka La.
Shavakas, I think.
Shavaka.
Shavakas.
Shamaka, you know Shamaka? So there's the Theravada tradition or whatever, who get out of samsara, who are liberated, but not fully liberated. That means they are not Buddha yet. So that is also called Buddha, but that is not the full enlightenment. They are enlightened, they are liberated, but they are not fully liberated, because there are two obscurations. So one is delusion obscuration and the other one is knowing or not obscurations. But they still have that obscuration, knowing obscuration. They are not omniscient. They don't know many things that Buddha knows. Buddha knows everything, that is omniscient, right? But they don't know many things, and their capacity to help others is very limited. So normally they don't help others. When they are liberated, they just rest in peace. Yes, they are liberated from samsara, so there is no obvious suffering, so they rest in peace. They don't want to help others because they don't have feeling for others. So that is considered not full enlightenment, right? So, so he says here, the Acharya Shantideva says here, even if that is not the ultimate Bodhi, I rejoice in their actions